targeting consumers who are willing to pay more for environmentally friendly products. And here the citation. This article is from Journal of Consumer Marketing, and the author is Ulrich and Guido Barbaro. And content in this study, I divide in 6 parts. The first part is introduction, the second is filter review, the third is methodology, the fourth is result, and the next 2 is conclusion and suggestions. Introduction, I divide in 2 parts. The first is background, and the second is purpose of the study. Background. Over the years, a majority of consumers have realized that their purchasing behavior has a direct impact on many ecological problems. So the purpose of the study is trying to identify a profile of consumers who are likely to pay more for environmentally friendly products, and also to elaborate marketing strategies that arise from an improved understanding of the profile of these segments of consumers. And literature review. This part I divide 5 parts, since these 5 factors that influence consumers to pay more on green products. The first is demographic, the second is knowledge, the third is values, the fourth is attitude, and the next one is behavior. Demographic characteristic. Three researchers mentions that recent study finds that females tend to be more ecologically conscious than men, and consumers with medium or high incomes would be more likely to act in ecologically compatible manners due to their higher level of education. And knowledge. Two researchers mentioned in 1990s says that knowledge about ecological issues is a significant predictor of environmentally friendly behavior. And values. Human values are desirable goals, varying in importance, that serve as guiding principles in people's lives. And values. These values including two parts. The first is in individualism, and the second is collectivism. And individualism represents how much a person focuses on his or her independent self. And the other is collectivism, implies cooperation, helpfulness, and consideration of the goals of the group relative to the individual. And attitudes. Attitudes divide into 2 parts. The first is in importance, and the other is in inconvenience. Importance is simply whether consumers view environmentally compatible value behavior as important to themselves or society as a whole. And inconvenience refers to how inconvenienced that it is perceived for the individual to behave in an ecologically favorable fashion. And consumers' behaviors. Two researchers says that ecologically conscious consumers will try to protect the environment in different ways, such as recycling. And here's the conceptual framework. And there are 5 factors that influence consumers to pay more for environmentally friendly products. The first is demographic. The second is knowledge, and the third is values. And the next is behaviors. The last one is attitude. And methodology. In this part, divided into 3 parts. The first is sample and procedure. Second is data collection, and the other is measures. Sample procedure. A location is North American City, and data collections will be done mostly on weekends and evenings. And there are total of distributed questionnaire about 2,300, but only 907 useful. And in this study, it used structured discuss questionnaire. These questionnaires questions are listed in a pre-arranged order, and respondents are taught about the purpose of collecting information. And major. This questionnaire divided in 5 parts. The first is ecoliteracy, and this part it has 7 questions. Questions like, can you please tell me what this symbol means to you? And as you can see, this symbol it corresponds to a response. And second part is attitude. In this part it has 70 statements. It uses 9-point Likert scale. Strongly disagree to strongly agree. And questions like recycling is important to save natural resources. And part 3, behavior. In this part, it has 5 questions. Questions like using the blue or green box for recycling. And the fourth part, value. It has 10 items, and it also uses 9-point Likert scale. Very unimportant to very important. Questions like a sense of accomplishment, a warm relationship with others. And the next part is demographic characteristic. Questions like gender, age, income, and education. And result part. From this result, you can see that female will pay more on green products are 50 and 7%, and men is 40%. So for this one, we know that females are being more environmental concerns than males. And this part, we know that about 80% of participants are willing to buy green products, and this chart, we know that attitudes are very good predictors of consumers' willingness to spend more for green products. And conclusion. The major contributions of these studies were the investigation of the profile of consumers willing to pay more for environmentally friendly products, and the subsequent discussion of the implications for marketers and critics. These researchers rely on self-reported answers to measure consumers' willingness to pay more for environmentally friendly products, but in reality, respondents actors may not. So here's a suggestion. Future study can conduct a similar studies with respondents who actually and consciously pay higher prices for green products. I think briefly, so future study can compare two groups. One is the people in the public, and the other is the people who actually using the green product and pay more and pay higher prices for these green products. And thank you for listening. Okay.